All right, guys, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. I'm Justin Wise, of course, your host, lead analyst, senior mentor at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. I hope everybody who's tuning in today from wherever you might be viewing is doing fantastic. All right, we got a lot to go over today. Some pretty cool, exciting stuff happening, a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's just dive right in. So, a little bit of housekeeping to start off with. I am in the process of moving. As some of you more attentive viewers might notice, I busted my head open moving a package the other day. I'm okay. The head injury did not affect my trading ability or my analytical skills. So, but doing okay. I'm still broadcasting this show from my old office. So nothing has really changed as far as any of that goes. Tomorrow potentially might be broadcasting from the new office. Just depends on how kind of today goes with the move. So I've got my position set up. I'm ready to go, and I feel pretty comfortable. Everything's good to go, guys. So thank you so much for everybody who's been reaching out. I want to say hello to the chat. I see all the usual good people in here. Jasper, how you doing, man? Bad Andy, Turd Ferguson. We got Jay Way coming in here talking about the Crypto Oracle. All right, Xantimus Crypto, what's going on, good man? The conductor says, new here, exclamation mark. I like excitation, man. Been watching for a while, enjoying the stream, getting some education. Thanks, man. I'm happy you're getting some education, bro. Edward Park, good to see you, my good dude. Crypto King. Nit and Soki, good to see you. And D Moba, hello from Germany. Hello from Deutschland. Hello from America. All right, so let's get right in, man. Let's get right in and talk about some stuff. Obviously, the first thing that we need to do is we need to do the giveaway for the free t-shirt competition. For the free t-shirt competition. So let's go ahead and head on over here and choose that winner. Bam. All right, there we go. We got it, guys. So we had 120 entries. Competition's over, so let's go. Let me pull up my thing here and draw a winner. All right, and draw. Da-na-na-na. And announce winner in the widget. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. All right, refresh the page. Congratulations. Dun, 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 dun. Chris Hearn, CP Hearn, thank you so much, man, for entering. Obviously, you... You're a member of the community, so thank you so much for doing that, and congratulations, man. So go ahead and pick out a t-shirt, let us know what you want, and we'll get that sent out to you, man. So you can DM me in the Discord, you can DM Scott. You're already in the community, so you know who we are. So just get with us, and we'll get that out to you, man. So congratulations. Fortune favors the wise. Thanks, man. All right, so that's done. Let's get moving right along. Again, we got a lot to talk about today. All right. Okay, so tomorrow beginning at noon, Scott should have that up, should have the page up later today. But we're going to be doing our next giveaway starting tomorrow with another proud supporter of the show, MMOCoin. All right, so let's go over there real quick. MMOpro.org is the website of the project. This is their forum. They're a pretty large, massively multiplayer online community. They do focus a lot on World of Warcraft, but MMOCoin link will bring you right there. You guys can read about the project if you want, if you don't know anything about it. It's MMOCoin.pro. The links are in the description down below, but we're going to be giving away 25,000 MMOCoin to 5 winners. 5 people are going to win 5,000 each. Just the regular stuff. We're going to use Gleam for the competition, supporting the community, all that good fun stuff. So you guys can do that. And I did receive news from some of the people that got the X42 masternodes. Doing well. All the X42 did get sent out. We're still waiting for one person, so we've sent out 4,000 4,000 X42. We still have 1,000 left to send out. That winner is Peanut Head. So if you're watching, that's kind of the information that you provided. We've emailed you a couple times. If you're watching, if you don't happen to check your email, but you do happen to check your YouTube notifications, then please get a hold of us. In the terms of service, you do have 14 days, I think, to get a hold of us. If you don't get a hold of us by then, we're going to have to pick a different winner. So for you guys who entered into the X42 Masternode, if Mr. Peanut Head does not get a hold of us within 14 days, then potentially one of you could still win 1,000 X42. So, but please get a hold of us, Peanut Head, because I would like to get you your winnings. Okay, now let's head right on over to here. This is important, guys. You need to make sure. You guys need to make sure you are doing this now. WINRAR, an exploit was discovered. This was all over Reddit over the weekend. A WINRAR exploit was discovered. It's actually an exploit that's 14 years old that allows malicious actors to inject an executable file into your computer if you're unzipping an archive. So I'm sure most of you, just about every single one of you, is probably running WINRAR on your computer. It's one of the most common, popular softwares out there. So I'm a peanut. So make sure that, if you guys have WinRAR on your computer, head on over to the official website, win-r.com, and make sure you update to the latest version. The exploit has been fixed. It has been patched. If you update your WinRAR, there's not going to be an issue. So, but the problem with WinRAR as it stands, if you're using the old version, is that there is a potential, if you have private keys, or anything on your computer, anything that's crypto related, whether you're copy and pasting public addresses or passwords or private keys, that the WinRAR exploit could potentially allow a malicious actor to put a keylogger onto your computer, that it could allow them to put a clipboard modifier onto your computer, anything of that nature. So make sure that you guys are being secure, and make sure you guys go over to win-rar.com and update to the latest version of WinRAR. Okay, the biggest thing is the Binance system upgrade notice. Okay, so starting tonight, this actually goes into effect technically tomorrow morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, UTC time, which is 9 p.m. tonight, my time. So for everybody in America, and for those of you on the other side of the pond, make sure that you're updating your schedule as necessary. All you have to do, if you're not familiar with this, just Google UTC to whatever your time zone is, Central European time, Central Standard Time, Pacific time, Eastern time, whatever, Colombian time. And make sure that you guys are aware of what time the Binance system starts. Binance is going to be down for 8 hours. So from 9 to 5 my time, I will not be able to use Binance. And because of that, I'm going to significantly reduce my risk in altcoin positions. So if you guys are holding altcoins, altcoins have been booming, doing very nicely over the last few weeks, really. Just make sure that you guys, this is an excellent time, especially with the massive profits that we've locked in. Make sure to go ahead and take profit. Again, do what you want, but just keep in mind that areas or events like this where Binance is going to be down is definitely an area where you're going to see a lot of people reducing their risk and moving into stable coins or moving back into Bitcoin. So either way, I would advise all of you to be very cautious. I personally am reducing my risk, tethering up for the majority of my altcoin positions, and reducing risk for the ones that haven't moved yet. So just be careful, just be cautious, because areas like this are ripe for manipulation. We can see big price spikes, big price dumps. Why is BNB pumping? BNB is pumping because you have to buy BNB to take part in the token sales for Seller, which is the next token sale that's coming up here in a week, I believe. So, the good old Binance Ponzi scheme. I don't know if it's a Ponzi scheme. That's probably not technically correct, but anyways, we'll move on with that. All right. So make sure that you guys are being safe and cautious with the Binance, with the Binance system update. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in then to our Bitcoin analysis. And let me make sure. Okay. 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 Okay, so some lackluster volume over the night. The weekly candle has closed, so we're going to begin with a top-down analysis on the higher time frames. Not so much the monthly, because we went over that at the beginning of the month. But we are going to be starting with the weekly time frame. And I'm hearing a little clicker, so I've got to go over here. ECVille, thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube. Highly appreciate that. Also, I do need to give a shout out to Pili. Hey, thanks so much for the Prime subscription, my good dude. Good to see you, man. Radioactive 328. Also, I want to thank you for the Prime subscription on Twitch as well. All right, so thank you guys. Thanks, Pili. Good to see you, man. Okay, let's break into this. So, lackluster volatility last night. Everybody was really excited about that drop that we did see. It actually preceded the London Open, which is generally interesting. Generally, when we do see enhanced volatility right around the London Open, and this actually preceded that by quite a bit. So this was around 1 o'clock in the morning my time when we actually did see that pretty decent drop. Nothing to aggressively short into. Honestly, that's the wrong maneuver. And again, people who are price action analysts, and again, I do factor heavily on price action, but a lot of people are going to see what happened last night. And they want to. I just want to. This is something that's very important to notice. Just make sure that you're not that guy that every single wick you think is a stop loss hunt or a grab for liquidity. So just be very careful. They're pretty easy to see when you get them. In general, the higher time frames, the more significant movements below key swing high and swing lows, those are the movements that I'm interested in. That's where you're going to see a significant move to the upside. Because in general, if you're using the hourly chart, for example, geez, my phone is going crazy. Notification. In general, when you do see, say you're using the hourly time frame or a lower time frame, and you do see a pretty violent wick down below a recent low, yes, is it a grab for liquidity? Most likely. Does that mean that if you didn't have a limit order there, that it's something that you should aggressively counter trade? Probably not, because there does again need to be opportunity for there needs to be volume and volatility, and there needs to be the reasonable expectation that price could appreciate to a significant degree to make it worth your while to enter into a trade. So when we're talking about significant highs, significant lows, range highs, range lows, untested highs and lows, those are areas where you can definitely expect a fairly good return on a counter trade setup if you are expecting that this is a liquidity grab. On the other hand, even though you can see something that may or may not be a liquidity grab, again, it's kind of subjective depending on your personal analysis, but when you're seeing something like that on a lower time frame, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a movement that you should be longing into. So let's start with the weekly analysis. So there was a lot of expectation around a massive movement today. We really didn't see that. I mean, honestly, last night was not really impressive. It is a overall red day in the market, but in general, I think that that's to be expected. We've had a very nice expansion of price. A nice pullback is to be expected. And the Binance system upgrade, I think, is probably the most critical factor moving forward with all of this. I think that actually is very important because, again, with the knowledge that you're not going to be able to trade for 8 hours on Binance, the second largest exchange by volume, and really where the action's happening besides BitMEX, and those two are kind of uncorrelated except for the USDT prices for BTC and Ethereum kind of moving BitMEX price with the exception of stop loss wicking liquidations. But with that being said, overall, just not a whole lot of movement, man. Some, alts down, but it's not a bloodbath. Honestly, it's really not a bloodbath. It's just a very low, lackluster, overall low volatility, and the action continues to remain in the altcoins because we do continue to see some of them pump, some of them dump. But overall, just a day to be cautious in the market. And I think over the next couple days, definitely an area to take profits, to reestablish, to re-strategize, to identify key levels on the market where you'd like to see pullbacks to, where you'd like to enter into new positions from. Not necessarily the time, I think, to be aggressively entering positions over the next couple of days. A good time to strategize, rehash, make sure that you lock in your profits that we've earned so diligently and so difficultly over the month of, over the beginning of March. I mean, the beginning of March has been fantastic for us. So just remember that saying, guys, expectations versus realities, kind of like meeting an online crush in real life, generally disappointing, sometimes tragic. So, all right, let's take a gander here. All right. So what happened last week? We did see that pretty significant wick down to the critical level of support on the Bitcoin chart, that level of 3650. And we just wicked right up. So where are we at right now? We're right in the middle of a trading range, guys, with clear resistance overhead and clear support underneath us. So we're in no man's land. It's kind of like Thunderdome. You know, 2 coins enter, 1 liquidation leaves. The weekly time transformation still trending upwards. We're not in overbought territory yet at this time, and crossing above the 0 line is a classic indication to buy. It's a trending buy signal from time transformation. However, if we look at our volatility confirmation indicator, Wada, which is what I'm using for this example, it's still flat and it's printing below the explosion level, meaning that the opportunity cost is not there. There's not enough volume to make a trending buy worth our time. So for a positional trade using the weekly time frame for a setup, there's no trade on the table, especially being in the middle of a trading range. The fact that you are getting a bullish signal from the time transformation crossing by the 0 line, but volume not being there, telling you that there's no reason to enter into this trade because it's probably not going to go anywhere. Just be very cautious, guys. All right, let's throw on our EMAs to give us a little bit of guidance here. So we are holding the red 8 exponential moving average on the weekly time frame as current support. Last night's volatility did wick down in the direction of that area, almost hit it almost perfectly, actually, and is currently holding. So that level, if we actually go over here to our data window, that level is going to be 3806. So there's that psychological level of $3,800. Personally, I think psychological levels are garbage because they're so subjective. I mean, it just is every 100 a psychological level, and again, psychological levels can be important, right? But in general, if you were to plot out every significant psychological level, you're going to have a million lines on your chart, guys. That's why I think critical horizontal support and resistance levels that have been clear turning points in the market, as well as a good set of indicators to help confirm your trades and risk management, pretty much all you need. You don't have to get overly complicated. Price action analysis is something that is fantastic and I think can enhance your skills. Don't get overly caught up on it. Just have a good strategy. That's all you need to do. Anyways, so as we move down into the lower time frames, as we're going to see, I think 3850 is a level to watch for a close below. But $3,800 is, as I hope to build the case for, pretty much the most significant downside level on the chart right now. That's close to us. That we're going to have strong confirmation that Bitcoin's going to shit the bed. So, we looked at the 8 exponential. Let's look at volume profile here real quickly, as I'm going to attempt to build a case. So that 3822 on the volume profile. So as we looked at the EMA, 3806, 3822 on the volume profile. So pretty much that same level that we wicked down to last night. So 3850 level to watch if you're going to be aggressive, 3800 a level to watch if you're being conservative. And again, as we move down into the 3-day and the daily, I hope to build that case. So let's go to the 3-day because it's actually a pretty interesting chart. So let's look at the 3-day here. All right, so if we look at time transformation is potentially, it's not confirmed yet. It depends on where the 3-day candle closes. But time transformation is kind of right on the border of giving us a continuation bullish cross to the upside. Again, when you're using an oscillator like time transformation, which is more than an oscillator to be quite frank, but when you're using an indicator like time transformation, and you can use other indicators that do the same thing, because again, time transformation can plot trends and it can plot reversals. So when you're looking at something being in a bullish trend in general, in this case, time transformation being above the 0 line, when it does cross, when it pulls back and crosses back up above the 0 line, so basically when it bounces above the 0 line or bottoms above the 0 line, that is called a continuation trade. And it's a very strong indication. In fact, some of my best trades are continuation trades. So when time transformation is above the 0 line and it pulls back and crosses back above the signal line above 0, that's a strong indication to buy. Similarly, when time transformation is below the 0 line and retraces to the upside and crosses back underneath the 0 line, that is a strong indication to sell. And some of my best trades have been continuation trades. So we don't have confirmation of this yet. If we do look at our volume confirmation indicator, WADA-ATAR, we do see that, yes, bullish volume is above the explosion level. It's been above the explosion level since we would have gotten our primary indication over here. That would have not set us up for the best entry, obviously. But if we look down at this consolidation period, so I hate this thing, man. Go away. I know there's a way to disable that, but I'm not going to fuck around with it on the chart. Hey, by the way, thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to Ron Legato. Thank you so much, my good friend. You did help me fix the scaling issue on my chart. Simple button that I didn't think to click. You have significantly improved the quality of my life for the benefit. Thank you so much. So if anybody knows the button to click to get rid of this goddamn thing down here, which I absolutely hate, I'd appreciate that. But anyways, moving on. I gotta respond to this, man. Hold a second, man. What can we do about the Binance update? Reduce your risk, take profit, and just be careful. Besides Binance, does any other exchange have the option to exchange dust and get a discount for using their coin? Shite. Huobi, I think Huobi allows you to do that, but I'm not 100% sure. I know they have their own token, and I know you get a discount for using it, but WebDev Newbie says, BNB is definitely the most impressive utility token I have seen. Okay, so it's only useful insofar as reducing trading fees and being allowed to participate in ICOs. It doesn't have any, I mean, from just in my humble opinion, it doesn't have a real use case as far as outside of the trading platform. But inside of the trading platform, yes, definitely. Does anybody know when the last system update on Binance was? You know, I saw a chart. Damn, I saw a chart earlier on that. Let me see if I can't pull it up. Baby shark, do. Don't laugh, dude. If you've got a kid, that shit's in your head, dude. Where did I see that chart? So the last one was November. Not sure on the date there. November, October, couple in July, and then going back to February. So there hasn't been one in 2019. The last one was in November. And there's not a lot of clear indication on exactly what happens upside or downside, just looking at the correlation between that and Bitcoin's price. But there is increased volatility. So okay. Back in the saddle. Okay, let's see here. Over 9,000. They only said Bud D Time. Binance Exchange is garbage. I really don't know. Like, you can not like some of what they do, but I don't really think that I don't really think you have any argument that you can take that they're garbage would have any potential legs to stand on. And they're constantly shutting down for this reason or that. I mean, the last scheduled maintenance was in November. Like, honestly, like no offense to you, but like really, like what are you talking about? They're a centralized exchange. All exchanges are centralized. Even most decentralized exchanges come with excessive risk. They force you to use their token. They don't force you to, but it's beneficial. Yeah, it's a goddamn scheme, dude. Yeah, it's a good scheme. Totally the opposite of what cryptocurrency is about. They don't even have a ton of coins that are big. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Are you serious? They don't have coins that are big? What? Like, what? Supposed to what? Cryptopia? Yeah, that worked out well for Cryptopia. Like, no offense to you, dude, but what are you talking about? Totally the opposite of what cryptocurrency is about. Well, that's your subjective interpretation of what cryptocurrency is about. Like, do you not want cryptocurrency to evaluate? Exchanges excite more people to come into cryptocurrency. All right. Two things can be true at once. Bitcoin can be revolutionary and it can be profitable. I mean, you can't get away from that, man. In fact, this is something that I am willing. I would make a huge bet on this. I would. I'm not a fan. But anyways, I would be very passionate about this. Exchanges in cryptocurrency are very greedy. All right. Exchanges in Forex are really greedy, but they got a good hustle. And because of that, Forex is a $4 trillion a day industry, right? I would like to see cryptocurrency be a $4 trillion a day industry. What is one way that exchanges in Forex bring more people in? They incentivize hustling. Okay. They incentivize hustling through what are known as introducing broker deals, IBs. So what this means is, if you get an introducing broker deal, and I'll be quite frank, if you're somebody like me, or if you're somebody with a big Twitter following or a big social media presence or a teacher or whatever, but if you're a popular trader and you have a referral link hustle, right? Somebody uses your referral link to sign up for an exchange. The Forex exchange will give them a kickback. Generally, it's 50% if you're really popular. But it can be smaller, 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever. There's all different tiers of introducing broker deals. And you sign like this a legal document that you sign with the exchange to get this kickback, and it's legal. But essentially, so I don't have this, right? I don't have this. I've never had an introducing broker deal for any Forex exchange, but let's assume just for the sake of argument that I did, right? And you clicked on my referral link to forex.com exchange. Okay. I would get 50% or whatever percent of your deposit, not your trading fees, your deposit, right? So the minimum, generally only of the minimum available, the minimum deposit required. So the minimum deposit on most Forex exchanges is, let's just take the average and say $500. So if you click on my referral link, I would get $250 just done, to like put into my trading account. And the reason why they do this is because Forex exchanges know that the majority of traders lose money, and Forex exchanges trade against you. So exchanges, and BitMEX does this too. So this is just valuable knowledge for you to have. Exchanges are going to take, they have a whitelist and a blacklist for traders, right? And if you're a profitable trader, you get put over here and they don't trade against you. If you're an unprofitable trader, they put you over here, which is the majority of the traders. And every time you take a trade, their account that trades on that platform's behalf is going to take the exact amount in the opposite direction, right? They're going to counter trade you, right? This is how exchanges get you coming in and going out, because they're going to give away, they're going to incentivize referral link hustlers to go out and bring in fresh blood to the exchange. They're going to give 50% by giving them a kickback from your deposit, not your goddamn trading fees, your deposit. Okay, I'm talking your money, because the majority of them just lose that money anyways. Because the education out there is terrible, and that's why I do this show, to try to give you guys some better education on how to be a trader and not be like the 99%. Again, we're about being in the 1% on this show, guys. So most traders lose money, and that's the reason that I started the show. Not because you can't trade, not because it's unprofitable, but because the education and the guidance out there is freaking terrible. Okay, like nobody starts with risk management, nobody starts with strategy. Everybody tells you that, everybody points you at shitty ass indicators, RSI, stochastic, MACD. Like, get those off your chart. Bollinger Bands, toss them away, right? Like, use stuff that works, man. Don't use stuff that's from the 60s. Sorry, I'm pretty passionate about that. But anyways, so IB deals. Anyways, so that might sound shady, and potentially it is. But because of that, Forex is very profitable. But because of that, you have a lot of people interested in trading Forex, because you are financially incentivizing people to go out and bring in fresh blood. And that fresh blood, whether they profit or not, that depends on the way that they trade and the education that they seek out. Okay. One of the purposes of the show is that you guys aren't going to be making these mistakes. Hopefully you guys are learning from the show, and from the positive feedback that I get, I hope I find that that's overall the case. So all that. If cryptocurrency exchanges weren't so stingy and allowed introducing broker deals, regardless of how you feel about that, it doesn't matter. What I'm telling you is that you would have individuals like me far more financially incentivized to introduce people to trading platforms, right? Now, that's not something that I'm apt to do because I'm a profitable trader. I don't need the money. And I understand that that's a little, and since I am a public figure, that's something that is questionable. Okay. And I don't like doing things that bring doubt into myself as an individual. So, but all these Twitter shills and all that stuff, blah, 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 that I'm sure you guys are familiar with on crypto Twitter, they would be extremely financially incentivized to hustle their referral link, meaning that you're going to get a lot more people on an exchange and you're going to get a lot more volume. All right. A lot more volume, a lot more volatility means a lot more profitable trades can be taken, meaning the crypto market could get the fuck out of the bear market quicker. Right. So, no offense, but bad-mouthing exchanges is kind of like bad-mouthing the price of Bitcoin, in my humble opinion, okay? Cryptocurrency is not going to be widely adopted if it's not profitable for people to get in, because people only act in their own best interest, right? The altruistic monkey is true, but the altruistic monkey is not going to starve himself so that he can prosper somebody that he doesn't know. In general, that's just how society works. Like it or hate it, doesn't matter. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's just how human beings are structured. That's how we're designed. That's how we built our society. So instead of griping and hating and, oh my God, the world is terrible, how about we take this knowledge of human psychology? How about we take this knowledge of human psychology and utilize this information to actually incentivize people to make the world a better place, right? Which is, again, if you guys go back to Satoshi Nakamoto's original idea, the entire concept of the blockchain is centered around financial incentive. So how can we trust individuals? How can we create a payment structure and a currency where we don't have to trust anybody? Well, because he put game theory into the system, right? Where individuals miners that try to cheat are punished, and miners that play by the rules and secure the system and mine fairly are financially rewarded. So for all that, so let's go back to Satoshi, right? Satoshi realized that Bitcoin would never work if people were not financially incentivized to make it work. Okay. How are we going to financially incentivize the world when access to mining just doesn't exist? Like there's no the barrier to entry for cryptocurrency mining even right now is extremely difficult. So how are we going to get people to be financially incentivized to use Bitcoin to replace the dollar, for example, if we don't financially incentivize them? So, Cardano will become the ultimate crypto. Yes, third generation blockchain, man. I'm going to respectfully disagree. Xantimus, Stotch RSI, Bollinger Bands, and MACD make me good money. Listen, I'm not saying that they can't be profitable, okay? I'm saying that in general, the way that most people use that stuff is not profitable, right? Like the RSI, most people use it for reversals. It sucks for that. Most people use the MACD for reversals. It generally sucks at that. Most people trade the Bollinger Band where if price, hits the lower, whatever. Now, I'm not saying those things cannot be combined into a profitable strategy. I would challenge you, however, to look at newer technologies and newer indicators that weren't developed for the equity market, because there are some great indicators out there that do all that same stuff, but were actually designed for Forex and cryptocurrency, so that have been designed within the last 5 to 10 years, that I think would actually probably improve your hit rate. But I'm not saying that throw out completely what you're doing. I would just challenge you. To look for alternatives and newer replacements to some of those indicators that are going to do the same thing, but that I would be willing to make a bet, probably give you earlier and more consistent signals. Elliot Waves, guys, stop it. Guess the kids aren't home. Hey, Sean Bond, thanks, man. What do I drink from the jar? It's just listen, man. So I come from humble beginnings, guys. I live in the Midwest. I don't know where it came from, but ever since I was young, I don't know. I don't drink out of plastic. I've got, even though I recycle and all that stuff, I'm not a huge eco nerdy guy or whatever. But I did go to college for That is what I studied in college, right? And I'm much less not that because I've made a political shift in my life, a philosophical switch from being on the left to being more toward the right. But again, libertarian anarchy. Yeah, I only drink out of glass, and I like mason jars. I drink out of mason jars, so it's not. Maybe it's moonshine. I don't know. But that's just my thing, man. So thank you for noticing. Why is ADA pumping? It had a good technical setup, to be quite honest with you, man. Xantimus, I do believe that the Fisher is superior to the MACD. Yes, it does everything that the MACD wants to do, but better, in my humble opinion. Ichimoku is pretty good, but that's a little different from what you're trying to go to. And again, I'll make videos on some of this stuff later on. I just play around, man. Just play around. That is a sweet tea jar in the South. Damn right, Fatam. What the hell? I don't even know what to say to that comment, dude. My wife doesn't believe in me. What the fuck? I can't even repeat that, man. But listen, I don't know if I don't know if that's joking or not, but for real though, I don't know if you're joking or not, man, but seriously, like, I don't, you're welcome to hold any opinions you want, but in the chat and in the Discord, we don't tolerate any racial epithets or, you know, any kind of hatred, man. So just watch it on that, please. Yeah, plastic leaches into your water. Do you buy a coin when you hear news about it for a pump? No. I think that's foolish. Arian A says, I checked out your site. Do you send buy-sell signals with your premium membership? Yes. Yes, we do. What indicators do I recommend? If you're starting out, I recommend... we do have this is something that me and Scott are working on building. And again, we're doing that recommended indicators list, but you're going to need a few things. All right. So I don't want to tell you what indicators you should use, but I want to tell you what you want. Okay. So you should have ATR on your chart. It's the most powerful indicator out there. Am I using a Freemason jar? No politics, please. Right. Yeah. Keep it trading, man. I gotta get back into this analysis. I've got a lot to talk about with Bitcoin. So you're gonna need a few things for indicators, right? I recommend this. Well, first off, you need to decide if you want to trade reversals, which I recommend, or trending. In fact, I recommend that you trade both, depending on the market condition. So you're going to want ATR to help you manage risk and establish take profit targets and stop losses. You're going to want an entry indicator for reversals. You're going to want an entry indicator for trends. You're going to want another indicator to help you confirm that both those indications are good. And then you want an exit strategy. All right. And then you want something that measures volume and volatility. Wester says, nothing bad to be on the left when you're young. This indicates that you're a good man. You know, that I've heard that. That is a common thing, man. That you're kind of toward the left when you're younger, and then as you grow up, you move more toward the right. I think having kids has a big thing to do with that. Okay, so sorry guys. I digress. Let's get back into the analysis because again, there is kind of a lot that I want to talk about with Bitcoin here. Okay, so as I said, the 3-day is actually pretty interesting because time transformation is potentially going to give us that continuation cross up to the upside. If we close the 3-day above 3,800. And again, Wadatar is giving us the signal for the bullish potential as well. Again, everything really comes down to that $3,800 price level. So let's continue zooming down and let's go to the daily, which is going to be the biggest chart that I'm going to make my argument on for significant levels on the chart. All right. Excuse me. Jeez. That eggs and sausage. The ATR indicator. Yeah, it's pretty simple, man. Average true range is going to tell you. So I have Quadrigo, which is available to subscribers and just does the work. In fact, I gotta refresh this. Baby shark, do baby shark. Let me refresh the page. Baby shark. Arr. There. What the heck? Is this not the new version of Quadriga I have on the chart? There we go. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, let's look at ATR. So ATR can be used. I have seen it used as a reversal indicator or a crossing above or below zero for trending. I don't think that that's the best use. ATR is just going to tell you how much you should be risking. Okay, ATR is going to tell you how much you should be risking and where your take profits and stop losses could be. It's objective. It allows you to set areas where you're going to take profit off the table. So you do need to determine your own level of risk depending on the volatility of the coin. But in general, I would give you like the baseline. The baseline is generally whenever you get an entry signal, go to that candle, right? So let's look at something like the let's look at the 3 hour, which is where I do most of my trading on. Okay, so let's look at these last two indications that time transformation gave us, right? Okay. So we get a buy signal on this candle right here. All right. So we're going to go, what's ATR on that candle? And if you open up the data window, you can see what ATR is. So it's the 3 hour chart. So ATR was $35.28. So we're going to pull open a calculator and we're going to go $35.28 times 1.5 is generally my recommendation. $52.92. So we're going to go, that's where we're going to set our stop loss. $52. What did I say? $52.92. So from this candle, $52 and whatever cents would be right here. So that's where your stop loss goes. Bam. Okay. And you're going to go, now this is up to you guys, but generally I like to begin taking profit at 1 ATR, but not really on the 3 hour chart, especially if I think it's a strong signal. But again, use your own method. But 1, 2, 3 ATR, just determine one objective level. And again, use your back testing, find out what works best for your strategy. How often does price move 1 ATR? How often does it move 2 ATR? 3 is going to be what you're told is the standard, but I think if you're starting out, 1 or 2 is going to be best for you. Like at least what I mean by that is, if price moves up 1 ATR, which would be $35.28, take profit off the table and move your stop loss to break even. And then just let the rest ride either until you get an exit signal from your exit indicator or from your price action analysis, or until you hit your pre-registered take profit targets. However you guys want to trade. But that is a simple and objective way to use average true range. Okay, going back to the daily. Okay, so man, look at this. Let's minimize that. You get smaller. Okay, whatever. Super weak sauce volume, man. Super weak sauce volume. Look at Wadatar. Just look at the absolute drop off in volume compared to our run up from 3,400. So let's just zoom out a little bit, and you guys can just see it. Like I mean, we had nothing. We had some good stuff, and then we've just got nothing. So price just in a level of consolidation, nothing deterministic, nothing massive to the upside or the downside. Again, in no man's land on the higher time frames. We've got our range low, we've got our range high. We're right at EQ. It is what it is. And so when price, well, whatever. But however, to the patient go the spoils. And again, there are ways that we can profit in a market such as this, as you guys are all aware. So very difficult to trade with very little volatility, very little volume. But let's go and look at some data metrics here because I'm going to make a case for that $3,800 level. Looking at our EMAs on the daily time frame. Price wicked down to the 21 exponential moving average last night. Again, generally the most critical EMAs on your chart are going to be the 21 and the 55, especially the lower that you go. And that's concurrent, that level, that 21 daily exponential moving average is concurrent with the weekly 8 exponential moving average, which again are the Fibonacci EMAs that I use. However, if we do look at this, our faster MAs do remain above our momentum MA. So the way that I've defined this and talked about this is 55 determines your trend, okay? Generally, if 55 is pointed up, price is trending upwards. If your 21s and your 8s are above your 55, or if your 21s above your, if you're fat, so 8, 13, 21 are your fast MAs. 55 is your medium length. 100 and 200 are your slows. All right. And the 55 to me, the medium represents trend and momentum. So in the midterm. So when your faster MAs are above your momentum MA, your 55 exponential moving average, price is in general bullish and trending up. So on the daily time frame, we still see that ideally the bullish trend is still here. However, again, we're using these not as deterministic, not as be all say all. We're using these to create an argument over what is a very critical horizontal level of support that needs to hold if we're going to have any expectation of bullish movement. Because even if the EMAs tell us that price is bullish, if we look down at volume and volatility, there's fucking nothing there. So we do need volume and volatility to justify the opportunity cost of entering into a position. So broadly speaking, when the 8 and 21 are above the 55, price is broadly bullish, broadly speaking below bearish, okay? But however, as I've said, the main purpose of using the EMAs is to help determine trends. So overall, they are tilted up, but in general sideways, meaning price is in a level of consolidation. So whether this is distribution or reaccumulation, wait to be seen. However, we do have that daily 55 coming in at 37.97 on the daily time frame. So $3 below 3,800. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Let's take EMA off. Let's go look at Ichimoku. All right. Overhead daily. We're still in the Kumo cloud. Tenkan acting as resistance overhead, and the Kijun coming in around. What do you guys think? Oh my God. 37.73. So $27 below 3,800. Okay. So we're talking about a zone. So we're just building a case for this level of support. Let's look at. So I just want to look at price from the beginning of the uptrend. Let's look at the volume profile. Interesting. Where's that point of control coming in? The highest area of traded volume, the most significant level of support on the chart. 38.24. Oh my God. So daily point of control, 38.24. So I hope that I've built a fairly strong argument. And again, if we're looking at horizontal levels as well, we had previous resistance here as well. Previous resistance turned to support. We've wicked down to that level in that zone. So on the lower time frames, let's go down to the 8 hour, which is where I actually do most of my 8 hour and 3 hours, generally what I trade off of. So I think I've built a pretty strong case for 3,800. I think it's the most important level on the chart. In other news, nothing's really changed up here. 39.30 to 39.70 still represent the bearish order. Excuse me, it's technically a bullish order block, but it's still the level of resistance on the chart. The plan is still to look for shorts from that area until or unless 39.70 is successfully reclaimed as support. If 39.70 is successfully reclaimed as support and there's nice volume, well, even if there's not nice volume, I think the correct setup at that point in time is definitely a breakout long. I think we will easily go to 42.50, probably 4,500 or 4,600 is the areas that I'll be targeting. But again, once we get into that $42.50 area, I'll be reducing risk, taking profit off the table, and adjusting my stop loss to profitable position. Or to a profitable level, excuse me. But again, I'm going to hold on to the potential for us to rise as far as 4,500, 4,600, and I'll reevaluate once we get there. But right now, I'm expecting a breakdown. Right now, everything on the chart tells me that I should be looking for an indication of short on a retest of resistance. And again, that's just the correct technical setup. So 39.30, 39.70, which again, price did go up to 39.43. So those of you who had been watching the stream could have had a good entry into the short position right here, talking about it for a while. So, should 39.70 be reclaimed as support? We're going along to 42.50, 4,500, at least I am, anyways. Otherwise, I'm looking to reshort that area upon a retest, or if we aggressively close below 3,800, or excuse me, if we close convincingly below 3,800, going to be aggressively positionally short. I'm going to be targeting 36.50, 34.50, and 32.50. Complete breakdown of that area. That's about it, man. It's actually a very, people are talking about how the Bitcoin chart is confusing, or, we don't know what to do, or blah, 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 blah. It's very simple, man. Like you've got two levels on the chart that are critical, that are just clutch critical. Long above 39.70. Anything below that, you're short. I don't drink out of copper containers, so my Moscow mules are in a canning jar. Awesome, dude. You like Moscow mules. If there is a candle close above resistance, on which chart do you get confirmation? The higher time frame, the more certain. Correct. Yes, Multiturcan. The higher the time frame that you're using, anything that happens on a higher time frame is going to be more indicative. When I'm looking for a close above resistance, the aggressive movement, I like to look at the 8 hour for me. If the 8-hour closes above a resistance level, then depending on other factors like volume and volatility, I might aggressively enter into a breakout. But typically, I prefer to wait. I prefer to be safer. I prefer to see price return to the area of. I'd like to see price return to that resistance level. So let's look at. Let's see if this is going to be on here. Why is my drawing not on there? Is it because I deleted it? Must be because I deleted it. So I was looking at Ren earlier. Somebody sent me Ren. And they were asking me, basically they asked me, this was just a while ago, they're like, there we go. They're like, hey man, Ren seems to have broken resistance. Should I go long? And I was looking at the chart and I said, well, no. Well, at least I wouldn't. So what I'd like to see, and when we were talking, like price was right here, okay? So generally what I want to see is I want to see price pull back. Why are you, I hate it when it does that, man. They made the paintbrush like not smooth. Anyways, I'd like to see price pull back, come back up, retest resistance as support, and then move up is the way that I like to do it. So aggressively entering here, there's just too many opportunities for price to just shit the bed on you. Because generally, you don't want to buy into parabolic movements in cryptocurrency because breakouts don't work the same way as traditional equities because of the thin order books. So generally, when you buy into a big, impressive green candle, generally that happens. So when you buy into a big, impressive green candle, generally that happens. Remember, at one point in time, all these wicks were full candle bodies. So that's a strong, you know, you look at that and you're like, oh my God, look how strong that candle is. I should buy. And generally, so you do want to get some confirmation. So break, pull back, continuation. Okay, where do I get that? The ATR indicator, you just search for ATR. Mass CMC says, do I use VWAP? I've never really used VWAP, no. I know it's pretty popular. I know it can be a powerful tool, but it's not in my tool belt. I mean, I understand how to use it, and it's not too bad on lower time frames. I used VWAP for a while when I used to trade minis. It's not too bad. That's the spirit, dude. My kid is digging Baby Shark. Hell yeah, dude. Java TV. That song makes me want to smash my head into the concrete. Also on 1/7/18, 3 days after the 1/4/18 Binance upgrade, the price started to go down from 17K to 6K. What's the indicator I'm using on the bottom of the screen? Which one? So this is WADA ATAR Explosion. You guys, this is from Lazy Bear. Full credit goes to him for coding this indicator. So you can just search for WADA ATAR Explosion, or if you just search for that will only work though. So Lazy Bear's version will only work on USD pairs. So I just removed a line of code that allows you to look at it in altcoin pairs. So you can actually find that on my TradingView profile. Just search TradingView for Kraken cryptocurrency or WADA ATAR, WADDAH. I'll put it in here, man. WADA ATAR Explosion. Right there, man. 60% of the time, it works every time. Michael Gomez, thank you so much, man. Personal question. How much did I take to be pro in the obstacles I had? Well, I've been trading full-time for a while, and I've been trading cryptocurrency since 2016. However, when I started trading back in 2008, when I first started trading equities, when I took my first stab at it, that was the beginning of the bear market. So I've blown out 2, potentially 3 accounts, depending on how you want to look at it. I'll make the argument that it was only 2, but you know, maybe my significant other at the time would probably tell you 3. Anyways, yeah, man, it's been a struggle, dude. You know, when I started trading, I got all the wrong advice. I heard from, you know, everybody, all the information out there led me the wrong way. People badmouthed indicators. People talked up price action. People dissed price action. People talked up indicators. People talked about this strategy or that strategy. And it wasn't until I just realized that, hey, man, I need to have a strategy. I need to have a system. And again, nobody taught me about risk management either, which is probably why I blew out the accounts. But yeah, it's been a pain in the ass, man, but it's been an awesome journey, and I've been really glad. I've met a lot of awesome people along the way. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've learned a lot of important information about myself as a human being, about myself as a man, and all that information has helped me, in my opinion, be a better father, be a better friend, and just be a better person, because I've learned to control my emotions. I've learned to think critically about situations, to view things not from the point of irrational exuberance or over emotional feelings about a trade, and to really just be cold lizard brain and think about things logically. So, super thirsty today, man. Justin, Vikings or Packers? Packers, man. Packers. And they're the only franchise team in the league. To be clear, if price goes a little down, we call it pissing in the bed. If you go down a large amount, we call it technically shitting the bed. Yes, that is a very technical term. That's a very technical term. All right, sorry, let me get to the schedule, man. I got a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. All right, so yeah, so nothing's changed with Bitcoin. We've got very, very, very clear indications of which direction to go, in my humble opinion. I want to look at the SPX here real quick. Let's look at the SPY. Okay, looking at the SPY. Looking at the SPY, and again, this is not BS. And again, maybe I don't care. You guys have whatever opinion you want. But anyways, so I had a 401k that I had from a previous job that I kept, putting money into because I didn't want to lose the employer benefits. But anyways, just luckily back in November, the time delay hit so that they couldn't take back their funds. So this is this old 401k, and it's obviously was weighted very heavily to the stock market. Very aggressive risk, 90% stocks. That whole 60% stocks, 40% bonds. That's for the birds, man. That's for people who are in their 80s. You're not going to grow any wealth that way if you're young. Anyways, so but yeah, so actually, so that just exited back in November. And at that time, I was looking at cashing out my 401k, or I rolled it over because I wanted to put it back in precious metals. And luckily, I didn't do that, and I didn't panic sell the bottom. So, anyways, but fortunately, SPX came back up. So last week, what was it? Oh no. So last Friday. So last Monday. Last Monday, I rolled that over, cashed it out, and now I'm going to allocate that. I'm probably going to do, for that, I'm probably going to do 50% precious metals and 50% Bitcoin for my long-term holdings and tuck that away. But anyways, looking at the SPX, I just did want to give a brief update. My eyes are kind of on this area. I don't know why. Yeah, so all the drawings that I did went away. Anyways, because I just updated this earlier, but all right, so let's go over the SPX here real quick. Okay, so there's two areas that I got my eye on. The first area is 2600 for a retest of 2600. We've got obviously a very clean support here. We've tested it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We are going to come back up for a 5th test. I would expect to see rejection from resistance, just as we do. In fact, I would expect us to actually form a lower high here. So the thing is, the more healthy the pullback, that's more fuel for the fire, right? That's more fuel to go back up. So not exactly certain if SPX is going to make a high, or if the SPY is going to make a higher high, obviously on the daily. I would like to see price pull back here to 2600. I think if price were to pull back to 2600 and hold this level of support, also could be seen as a run for liquidity. Two things would happen. A, that would be plenty of rocket fuel for us to make higher highs on the SPY. It would also be an excellent entry position, and it would also technically, and again, these things work on equities, but they would technically fulfill the qualifications of an inverted head and shoulders. All right, so you guys can see that pretty clearly. Loop, loop. Price comes back down here to 2600, forms the right shoulder. I think we could potentially see higher highs on the SPY. So looking at 20% upside, potentially from that. And again, you guys know how I feel about measured moves. That stuff doesn't work in crypto, but it does tend to work decently in equity. So looking at an area here. Now, that's not actually the area that I want to target. As we move forward, we'll actually set some decent realizations. But everything kind of centers around this. Now, again, same thing. If price does break here, I would probably think that'd be a false break and would not aggressively enter into any kind of position. What I would want to see is a break and then a pullback and a confirmation and then a continuation. Okay, especially when we're dealing with something like the SPY. That's the only thing that I want to take for an aggressive pullback. But again, I don't really like the size of this pullback. I'd like to see a much more aggressive pullback. I'd like to see a lot. I'd like to see a lot more liquidity get tapped into right below here, right below support, to give us some nice fuel to the upside here. The other area where I'd be okay with setting a buy would be right here, right below this area of liquidity, right below this area of previous support. I'd be okay with. The Packers are the only decentralized team in the league. Dances reluctantly. I see a video on my YouTube titled Tron, $12. My ass wants its flying pigs back. Yeah, I find that highly unlikely. Anyway, so that's what I got for the Spider-Man. Okay, let's see. And again, I did upload, so just to discuss this briefly, I uploaded the newest webinar, and eventually this will be. So I do webinars for the premium subscribers, and I go over critical concepts. Eventually, once I have all my webinars completed on all the topics that I want to cover, they will be offered as a course. It's going to be divided into 3 modules: introduction. Introduction, advanced, and expert. In introduction, I'm going to go over all the things that I think you need to know to become a trader, which is going to be things like how do I pick my indicators? How do I pick my price action analysis? What are critical levels of horizontal support and resistance? What is supply and demand? And how can I practically draw them on the chart? How can I practically trade them? What should I look for when entering into position? What should volume be looking like if I want to enter into a position? How can I manage my risk? What exchanges to trade on? What are practical ways to manage my money? When should I be in tether? When should I be out of tether? Things like this. So everything that I think an individual would need to gain a comprehensive introduction to technical analysis and begin trading, hopefully profitably. Because again, I've reviewed a lot of information out there that's publicly available, and it's garbage. I think that if you are learning to trade from Investopedia or from a lot of places that purport to offer trading advice, it's not geared toward crypto. So I don't know of any good cryptocurrency centered courses that use modern tools, that use modern analysis, and then that actually practically tell you like what you can do to manage your money. So that'll be available as one course. Getting into more advanced concepts of supply and demand runs, getting into more advanced concepts of using more advanced indicators, of combining indicators into a more comprehensive strategy. Potentially, how you can automate your strategy. Potentially, I can use other tools and elements that I've used over time to improve your skills. And then expert, we get into much more advanced concepts. Am I investing in platinum? It's one I got my eye on. Not gonna lie. And yes, I do have. I got a basket, more heavily weighted in gold and silver, but I have a basket of precious metal investments. All right, so we've got this. So what I went over in the last webinar is horizontal support and resistance in a practical application, like how they're formed, how do you actually draw them in an objective method, how can you trade them, what are the types of trades that you can take off horizontal support and resistance, how can you use horizontal support and resistance in confluence with price action and indicators to actually enter and exit a position. Okay, so it is 1:05, guys. So we've been live for an hour. When I come back, we're going to talk about the new blog post on the website. We're going to talk about how you guys can get some BitTorrent token for free. We're going to take requests. So guys, I'm going to be gone for about a minute or two. I'm just going to go grab some water, take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to go over this important information. And if you guys have any chart requests, I would be happy to look at them. So go ahead and throw them in the chat, and I'll grab them when I get back, and we'll go through them we'll go through as many as we can, guys. All right. And no and. I'll be right back, guys. Thanks for sticking with me, man. Yo, yo, yo. All right, thanks for checking with me, man. All right, let's scroll up, baby. Ethereum, ZERP H19. All right, so let's go to this schedule. There we go. Go to the schedule. So we looked at BTC, we looked at the SPY, and requests. So we've got ETH. We'll look at USDT. We'll look at ZERP H19. I don't think Binance was specific on what changes they were doing. Nope, they were not. Is it worth learning blockchain? Yeah, definitely, man. I think that blockchain engineers, blockchain developers is going to be a very, 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 it's one of the most in-demand jobs out there right now. I think that you are going to be well served if you invest in the future. VFF. I don't know what VFF is. Is that a stock? I'll look at it, man. What indicators do I use? Time transformation. Pretty much the indicators that I use are ones that I've designed. So time transfer, I use average true range, I use time transformation, I use exponential moving averages, Ichimoku, and volume profile. Those are all for confirmation, just to identify critical levels of horizontal support and resistance generally, but also to see in short term where momentum is or where there are likely turning points in the market. Mainly, I go off of volume and time transformation as well as price action, and average true range to establish risk and objectively set take profit targets. Show you guys what I'm working on right now. This is the next indicator that I'm working on. It is clickbaitingly titled Compassion. It's something that I've actually been working on for a while, so I was able to take everything that I learned with designing time transformation and just basically smooth it out and make it a little bit more consistent. So it's not perfected yet, but this is what I'm working on next. So this will be available to subscribers, and is the next thing that I'm working on. Okay, so before we get into the requests, cannabis stock, gotcha, man. Yep, we'll check it out, bro. Before I do that, I do want to look at. Here we go. If you guys go over to the Kraken Cryptocurrency, Kraken Cryptocurrency blog, Joseph has a new article up. He explains how to get your BitTorrent tokens during the Tron airdrop on the 11th of March. Let's bring this over here. So you guys go check that out if you want. It goes down here, explains all the exchanges where you can, again, if you don't want to go to the trouble of holding your Tron in your own wallet, which is, again, generally recommended. But if you just want to keep your Tron on an exchange, Binance, OKX, Huobi, Bithumb, all the big ones, you're going to be able to just keep it on there. They'll do it automatically for you. There's 990 million BitTorrent tokens being dropped this time. This is March 11th. One Tron is going to net you 0.01 BTT. The last time they did the airdrop, 10.8 billion BTT were dropped to Tron holders. And one Tron at that point in time would have gotten you 0.11 BTT. So significantly less this time. Again, early birds do get the worm. So you guys go check that out. And with that being said, all right, now we'll get into the charts. All right, let's start off with Ethereum. We'll just go over here. All right, same song, different verse. Ethereum looking the exact same thing as Bitcoin. But the interesting thing about Ethereum is that it didn't actually have a nice bullish rise up to retest that critical level of resistance that I wanted it to. 146, 148. If one were going to be really, really, really a rambler gambler, one could take along to that area. I don't see any reason to do that. Again, I'm leaning much more toward the downside. I would need to see, and again, by that time, it's not even worth it, but I would need to see a clear break of 140 before I'd be interested in taking along. So pretty much at this point in time, my position on Ethereum is we do have 140 sitting overhead as resistance. Again, the more critical level or the liquidity zone that I'd like to see tapped into or wanted to see tapped into was 146, 148. We did not end up rising that high. So I'll be keeping, again, when it comes to Ethereum, Ethereum is what I do like to trade. Bitcoin is what I like to keep my eye on. So if Bitcoin ends up breaking out of this cycle and reestablishing that 3970, I'll probably be going long on Ethereum because I think there's more volatility and there's more opportunity cost. But again, the setup that I do have, that I have published and talked to everybody about is for Bitcoin. So Ethereum being a little bit more wibble wobbly. It generally goes right along with Bitcoin as we see it has done on its decline here. Hasn't broken significant support. Again, the area to be keeping your eye on for an aggressive breakdown for me in the longer term is 118. I know it says 119.32 on here, but it's that area. It's that zone between 118 and 120. Again, aggressive initiation below that level is actually that's conservative initiation. If you actually probably, I mean, I just keep your eye on Bitcoin. Kind of the same thing. Bitcoin ends up breaking that $3,800 level of support right now. So right here, Bitcoin ends up breaking that $3,800 level of support. You can put your bets on Ethereum if you want, but again, it's probably going to be best for you to analyze the chart on your own. Don't have a strong opinion on Ethereum except for the one that I've published. So GRS, fly like an eagle to the sea, fly like an eagle. But let's analyze the chart on its own. Let's look at that last weekly close of Ethereum. Yeah, so nice, just a different candle formation than Bitcoin. So spinning top doji, not exactly a long-legged doji, but overall an indecision doji. After that big decline down. No, I mean, the weekly is showing some nice bullish volume here on Wada Tar, and again, the time transformation is above zero. So the argument can be made for the trending trade. Not a position that I want to be taking at the current point in time, just based on price action and based on what Bitcoin's doing. But again, if you wanted to be a rambler gambler, I could see the argument for the long to 146, 148. It's not a trade I'm going to be taking. In fact, I'm going to be taking something quite differently. Going down to the 3-day. 3-day is crossing down below the zero line right here. It'll actually confirm on the close of this 3-daily candle. Going down to the daily time frame. Yeah, very little volume, which does not portend well for the bullish scenario. You could make the case that this is a higher low, but I don't like to see after this low right here, this was a higher low, where you could have said, hey man, we're going to be really bullish. But then if you look at the bullish reaction off that, I mean, looking at Wada Tar, there was nothing. Super weak volume, super weak volatility, and absolutely no follow through and just a swift rejection. So in general, I'd be looking for any and all opportunities to take this to the downside, which, again, if you guys are in the members group, you guys know that I've published that. So for that reason, I can't look at the MEX chart because I just published that trade this morning, so I need to respect that. But let's just say very simply, I'm looking for any and all reasons to take Ethereum to the downside. I can see the argument for the bullish scenario, but I don't see any confirmation to take that trade. I don't see the opportunity cost. Fresh cross under on the daily Fisher right here. So whether this immediately has follow through right now or gives you a good opportunity to enter by retracing to a healthier price, seems like might be the case. But again, if we form a lower high here. If we form a lower high, I think that'd be a good opportunity to enter into a short position. Or if we retest this level of resistance, I think would be a good opportunity to enter into a short position until you're proven wrong by price closing above 140. If price closes above 140, probably no action to take. You could aggressively long, I guess, if you wanted to. But again, if we end up doing that, that's a break in market structure, and I'm going to wait for the confirmation for reclaiming 148. But again, if you want, there is the profitability. There is the profitable trade to go from 140 to 146, 148. But just as with Bitcoin, there's more profit, I think, potentially in being very patient, because breaking 146, 148, I think will definitely test 167.32 and most likely higher. Most likely we test this previous area of breakdown. That's a very significant change in market structure, reclaiming this area. But until we do that, you're looking for opportunities to go short. Do I need to remove my coins from Binance? No, I just wouldn't recommend you. Being in position. Cancel that VFF. Sorry, it already pumped, man. Damn it. Look at OGRMF. All right. Okay, so that's Ethereum. Let's go look at, once I reclaim my mouse. Let's go look at ZERP. Sipping on that ZERP. All right. All right, so ZERP's kind of interesting, man. But as you can see, I'm pretty much looking for any and all opportunities to re-enter this into a downside trade. Now, this isn't anything I've published. This is just kind of what I have as an idea right here. Especially if we go to the, especially if we look at ZERP Bitcoin, you guys can actually see the justifications for this. But here's what we're looking at, man. There's a couple different scenarios that could be posited from this, but I'll give you my breakdown and how I think about this right now. So we've got this descending trend line that has been suppressing price for a significant period of time. Now you could say that this is accumulation, that this is consolidation. I do think that we probably will see a break above, but the long trade is not really what I'm looking for. Again, you could take it, I guess, on a confirmed break of this resistance trend line right now, because I think that a movement up is more likely than an immediate rejection from this line. This does look like a little bit of a different market cycle right here. I would expect this to break to the upside above this trend line, looking at forming this higher low and consolidating directly underneath resistance. Generally, when we see that, we do expect to see a break, but I don't think that the follow through will be as impressive. So again, I'll just be looking at that. Again, when you're in a downtrend, broadly speaking, retracements are opportunities to re-enter into short positions. So I'll be looking for this as an opportunity to re-enter into a short unless I'm proven wrong by price closing above my reinitiation level. If price does do that, then I think that we're going to have more significant follow through on ZERP and we'll be targeting these upper profit target areas. But until then, I'm expecting a retracement to the upside and then an opportunity to re-enter into a short position. And again, if we go look at ZERP Bitcoin, hopefully you guys can see my justification for that as well, especially looking at something like the volume profile. There's just a very, very, very attractive gap. Look at that. I mean, that's beautiful, man. Look at that. That's a 10% gap in ZERP's price. If we break down from this level right here, it's just a beautiful setup, man. It's a beautiful setup back down to our next high volume node. There's just nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here, man. If we break down from this level, then again, I think it's pretty much a straight shot down to 7,000 sats, man. So I don't want to aggressively enter it now, especially because we're getting the daily buy on the time transformation. So I would expect a retracement back up here to this aggressive initiation level, so around 82.28, and I'd be looking to enter into a short position in this zone. And if we look at ZERP Bitcoin, again, the descending trend line is significantly different. So we actually have that descending trend line coming in. There we go. We have that descending trend line coming in significantly higher than this. So I would expect to see a movement back to that resistance trend line. And again, this previous high level right here, this previous high volume node, attempt to get into the value area. I think that most likely that will fail. And that'll be the area where I'm looking to re-enter into a very attractive short position down here to about 7,000 sats. That's one of those trades, man. If you only take a couple trades a year, that's one of them. So keep an eye on that one. I'm going to wait for I have alerts set, and I'm going to wait for I want to see the bearish reaction from this level, so not just blindly limit selling that area. There's plenty of time to enter into it, but that's my ideas on ZERP, man. YouTube alerts suck. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss anything. I don't want to sound like your typical, guys, make sure you blah, blah, blah. But anyways, yeah, there are problems with the YouTube notifications. So if you're just subscribed and you want to make sure you don't miss an episode, hit that bell so that way you do get notified when we do go live. But yes, so just to clear up some confusion, we did have daylight savings time here in the States. So if you guys are watching from outside of the United States, then we are going to be starting technically an hour earlier every day because in the States, spring forward, so daylight savings time. So sorry for the confusion. I know that did cause some confusion for some people earlier, but yes, this is going to be so whatever time that you thought we started, whatever, that's the time that we're going to be starting from now on. So start over, man. Yo missed it all. Can you please give the link of the indicator shown in your screen charts? So time transformation is only available to subscribers or members of the premium trading group. Watt-Hour Explosion is free to use. If you guys, here, let me flip over here, man. If you guys go to, and I'll drop the link here in the description, man, but all you have to do is go to TradingView. I think you just go to tradingview.com/cracking-crypto. No. So let me see. This is my Bitcoin analysis. Oh, okay. So here we go. There's a link to my TradingView profile, and if you go here, you can see my ideas, and you can go to my scripts. So let's see here. So Quadriga is only available to subscribers. Time transformation is only available to subscribers. These are old tests that it won't let me remove. But anyways, CC EMA, so my personal modifications of the exponential moving averages is available. You can use that publicly. My version of Ichimoku, and here's Wada-Atar Explosion. So this is my modification to use Wada-Atar Explosion, which is that bottom indicator right here on any altcoin pairing. And I'm going to be publishing a lot more scripts moving forward into the future. But if you want to use the other one, I should probably link. I'm going to have to edit the description for this or post an update so I can give the link to Lazy Bears. But if you just search for scripts and Wada-Atar, here's Lazy Bear's version. But again, there's a line of code in there and again, here's mine right here. There's a line of code in there that's not going to work on altcoins. So you guys can use that one. He said ZERP USD. Dun 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 dun, to Finex we go. Interesting. Let's look at the weekly on ZERP USD. That's actually pretty interesting, man. Bottoming off that critical level of the point of control. Obviously, this is correspondent to previous resistance that we had over here. I'd like to say that looks like accumulation, man. I'd like to say that looks like accumulation. Seems like we've hit a pretty significant bottom. We do have some hidden bullish divergence here on the weekly time frame, which can be a powerful signal, but there's just no volume, man. There's just no volume. So we need to see a reason to enter into a trade. So from the weekly perspective, if you're looking at this as accumulation, I could see entering into a position on the basis of accumulation if you're willing to hold for a significant period of time. But looking at taking the Bitcoin price action into account, if the ZERP Bitcoin pairing does end up taking a shit, then most likely this is going to see some more downside, at least down here to test this point of control, which is 20 to 30% down below you. So just be cautious, man. You definitely want to get some confirmation for taking a bullish trade on this bad boy. Let's go to the 3-hour time frame. Yeah, no volume on the 3-hour time frame either. Fresh continuation cross under from the Fisher transform right here. Let's go to the daily. No volume on the daily either, man. So even under the best circumstances, I can't see a justification for entering into this. Even though it's low, that doesn't mean anything. Price can get lower, man. I would want to be waiting. I mean, it doesn't look bad, man. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. You've got a nice ascending trend line right here. You've got this recent symmetrical formation. You're expecting this to break to the upside is the intention. But I want to see that break, man. I want to see that break. Yeah, you got everything pulling down on you here as far as the EMAs and the Ichimoku go. You've got that cloud directly overhead, correspondent with your 200. Excuse me, your 100. Your 100 exponential moving average. Your 200 actually creeping down on you more significantly there. So you got a pretty significant area of resistance over here. I think I'd want to see us. I'd want to see us get in the cloud, man, before I really take a trade. And that's going to give us some nice confirmation. That's going to give us plenty of time to let volume grow. And that sucks. I know that sucks because you're talking, oh, that's like 8% above price. Like I'm going to miss the move. No, again, I think the more profitable position is the edge-to-edge trade, is the 8 to the 20%, or excuse me, the 20% trade that you could get if you wait for confirmation on a bullish retest. So basically what you want to see is this area of resistance get taken out and reclaimed as support. That's going to be confluent with getting above your EMA's resistance. That's going to be confluent with getting above your Ichimoku resistance and breaking into the cloud. So right there. And so again, you want to see something that broadly looks like this, man. You want to see something that broadly looks like this. You didn't see really the retest there, but anyways, you want to see this level, so around 34 cents. You want to see 34 cents be reclaimed pretty significantly. I think if we reclaim 34 cents, we could have a nice bullish trade on the table. But until then, man, ZERP remains in a downtrend. And even though it looks like accumulation and kind of smells like accumulation, I have to get some confirmation. There needs to be some volume and volatility for me to expect the opportunity cost to enter into a ZERP long is going to be there. And especially when I'm looking at the ZERP pairing, even though it's a different pairing, I can't counter trade my analysis of this thing on a different chart. You know, if Lumen's Ethereum looks bullish, but if Lumen's Ethereum looks bullish, and the Lumen's Bitcoin chart looks different, I'm probably not going to short the Lumen's Bitcoin chart. The Fisher transform looks like stochastics with fib overlaid. Is it fair to say this is the case? No, it's not. Can I talk a bit about why I like the Fisher transform so much? So the Fisher transform takes price action and runs it through the Fisher algorithm. It's a mathematical algorithm to transform price into a wave. All right. It's designed to take price and convert it into a normal probability density function, right? So an average or a bell curve where 80% of your results are going to be within one standard deviation of the mean, meaning your overbought and oversold signals are going to be much rarer. And you can combine this with a signal line to give much more responsive crosses. The stochastic is slow. It's based off an average of an average of an average. When you're averaging price action, it's smooth through 3 look-back periods. When it comes to cryptocurrency, which moves so goddamn fast, it's unusable. Like, for the love of God, like, the stochastic is probably the worst indicator out there, next to the RSI, in my humble opinion. The Fisher transform is much more responsive. It picks up divergence much better. It picks up reversals much better. And combined with risk management and a proper application of strategy, I find that it's my favorite indicator, just hands down. Hands down. I started using it in Forex. I've used it on equities now. I use it in crypto. It's good, man. Okay. So we looked at ZERP, we looked at ZERP H19, we looked at ZERP USD. And we're going to look at OG RMF. Organogram Holdings, LLC. That looks good right off the top of my head, man. Okay. Yeah, I mean, overall, it looks good, man. For trying to pinpoint a reversal, I never like picking out tops when things are trending really strongly, but I would say that this does look a little sketchy for at least a short-term pullback, because, I mean, just based on the fact that you're at the market high, you're showing signs of weakness, you're putting in a spinning top doji at the top of a market cycle on the weekly time frame. You're not rejecting immediately, you're holding on to that level, so this could be good, especially if you do end up getting a nice follow-up bullish weekly candle. Then you could go much higher, man. Definitely an area where I'd be taking some profit and moving my stop loss into profit, depending on where you're at in the position, just based on the fact that you're at the top of the market cycle. But you never want to pick tops when you're talking about market highs. It's risky. Time transformation doing pretty good here on the weekly time frame. Give you a sell here, kept you out of that. Give you a sell here. You had more upside, but in general, that kept you out of the market. Had a beautiful buy here, beautiful sell here. Beautiful buy here. Weekly time transformation. Just pick the bottom of this thing like a chime, as it will do when properly adjusted. Yeah, set you up for a nice 120% gain. Yes, just be cautious, man. I mean, again, just let's be real. You're at the top of the market cycle. This level is representing resistance right now. You haven't been able to close above it. If this rejects from here, it'll also meet the qualification of a liquidity grab. Let's see, where's a logical area for a retest? Should price pull down and stay bullish? Clearly this area right here. And I'll go down a little bit and refine this, man. But broadly speaking, I'd be looking at this area right here for a pullback. Oh, I don't want to buy. I don't want to buy. No blind buying. Let's see if I can get some confluence with something, man. Let's do a fib. Yeah, not bad. In between the 236 and the 382. So that's aggressive, but not too bad. That's not too bad. More likely, just to be honest, I do see this level right here, which is going to be confluent with the 0.5 fib retracement, which after a parabolic movement, you generally do get a fib retracement. Let's see, we need to find more confluence. So we had, the 618 actually looks better on this chart because you have previous resistance, but that area has already been blasted through. That 0.5 was resistance here. And again, generally after a parabolic movement, you generally at least see a 0.5. And we can see that it was resistance here, pulled back, broke through, and then pulled back and retested. So I think that would be probably the more critical area right there on the chart as well. And I'd be looking for a liquidity run or a supply run, demand run, excuse me. Be looking for a demand run below that level as well, if that 382 doesn't hold. Yeah, time transformation now on the weekly is obviously flashing. Be on the lookout for a sell signal. Go down to the 3-day. We'll see if this forms a swing high. Let's see where this 3-day candle closes. If it closes below, this will be a a classic swing high where you have a high and a lower high on either side. The daily. Daily could be interesting. Daily could be interesting. Depends on where we go here on the day. But if the day crosses up from here, it's going to give you a continuation crossing above 0 after being above. Give you 2 sell signals right here. Not a lot. Again, volume's drying up, so you got to be careful of the opportunity cost. Basically, you're looking for a swing failure pattern. That's what I'd be it's what I would be a little bit worried about here on the daily time frame, because you formed a high, you formed a low, and if you fail to make a higher high here, right, it'll be a swing failure pattern. Confirmation of that comes once price closes or goes below the low. That's how you trade an SFP. And then, yeah, I'd be looking at these areas right here. What do I need to see to be real bullish on this, to think that we're going to have another leg up? Well, again, we're at market highs. So we need to see a daily open and close above $6.69. If that happens, then again, the only really thing that you can do here is all right, I don't want to take the whole market cycle. So the only thing that we can really do here is use something like EMAs, but again, we're going to be overhead all of those. So when you're talking about making new market highs, the only tool that you have available to you is going to be so an equilibrium swing would take you up to $11.23, or a more conservative target would be $1.414, $1.272, and save as big ones. I'm meaning to do that for a while. Oh, shoot. More conservative target would be $9.16 or $9.63 at this zone right here. Again, that the equilibrium swing would probably be your moonshot target. Oh, sorry, I need the negative to. Again, that equilibrium swing is going to be $11.23. So that's if we get that nice bullish daily open and close above there. If I had to put money on it, I wouldn't do anything. I would wait to see what happens. Again, the risk of an SFP is pretty high. You're at the top of a market cycle. This could be a classic grab for liquidity before a downtrend. And again, after a parabolic movement, you generally expect to see at least a retracement like this, generally a 50% retracement after a parabolic movement like that. But very strong, man. Again, it's risky also calling tops. And it's risky calling tops when you're at all-time highs. So keep on the lookout for that swing failure pattern. Look for a higher low, or a lower high on the daily, excuse me. Look for a lower high on the daily. And if we break this low right here, so if we break $6.20, then I don't know if you can short it, but I'd be targeting $4.84 potentially. Get a nice daily open and close above that level. You can take a stab for it, especially if you get some volume coming in. If you get a nice volume spike and an open and close above $6.71, you probably take this thing up here to 950. Not saying it's going to go that high, but I'm just saying. That's the area where you'd want to be targeting. You don't just blindly target profit areas, though. Yeah, pulled back down to that daily 21, bounced off of it nicely, holding the current 8. Yeah, good metric. Came down to the Tinkin. Looks good, man. Just wait for confirmation before you take your next move. Crypto Stanley, any thoughts on the Binance upgrade and maintenance tomorrow? Yes, I've only been talking about it for 2 hours. Sorry, man. That probably sounds sarcastic. Thank you so much for coming, man. Yeah, I went over that pretty heavily. I think that this is an area where you should be reducing risk. I think this is an area where you should be taking profits on very profitable positions. And I would be cautious because the time directly before and directly after the maintenance are going to be areas where a lot of people are going to be tethering up or moving into more stable coins or moving back into the big cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and where altcoins are probably going to take a bit of a hit. Again, general red day in the market. We are going to see random pumps and dumps. But I'd be very cautious, guys, because we know that a lot of individuals are going to want to tether up because of that Binance maintenance. So any pumps that I see over the next 24 hours, well, really, so it starts at 9 p.m. my time. So the next 7 hours, actually, so here when I end the show, is probably an opportunity to exit an attractive position and trap you into a buying position. So just be careful, all right? Just be careful. Pretty much, I would say that if you're in a profitable position on an altcoin, look to take profit and put your stop loss in at break even or above at profit for the rest of your position. And just wait until the Binance maintenance thing clears out to look for more profitable positions. Thanks, Fatam. Appreciate it, man. Enigma and Cardano. Cardano was looking bullish on a technical setup. So let's look at this in Enigma, ENGBTC. I think I've traded this before. It doesn't look too bad, man. Doesn't look too bad on the daily. Some nice volume coming in here. Yeah. Nice volume coming in here. You do have, what's going on here? Okay. You do have this resistance level right here. Hold on. Cool. You did have this resistance level here, which you blasted past and pulled back and hopefully retested. So that's what I want to see on this daily. It seems like we're in a little bit, it seems like we're moving down now on the daily. The important thing I need to see is price holding this level. So because even though I have no overlapping level selected, it is overlapping the goddamn level. 9,800 sats, man. 9,800 sats. Not something I'd want to be buying into right now. Definitely an area where you want to be taking profit and waiting for confirmation on your next move up. Let's see if that $9,800 level holds. If it doesn't, then most likely you're going to at least have a pullback down here to at least 91.29 before you take another leg up. So again, expected results and actual reality. So something like this. So either we establish this as support and we end up moving higher, and the next significant resistance level that I have is 14,868, but I'd probably definitely look to take profits around like 1150. Or we see a pullback like this and then reclaim that level and then go higher. But this, again, this is not an area where I blindly buy. Like, you know, by all rights, it could just, you know, fuck if I know. But those are just the things you want to look back. You want to look for a nice bullish reaction off this lower level, previous resistance. You want to see, you got to get some confirmation that, hey, man, we're going to have some follow through. Because right now, this is an evening star candle on the daily, which is a reversal indication. Doesn't mean it's going to drop from here. Again, you want to see if 9,800 holds, and you want to see if you get that nice bullish reaction and then a push higher. Or you want to see if this lower level of support around like 9,100, 9,120, 9,150 holds, and then pushes back up, reclaims that level. So this is not where you take the trade. It's not where you take the trade. You take the trade on this retest of 9,800. After breaking down, coming back up and reclaiming it, that's when you take the trade. But yeah, just like I said, man, getting some nice pumps. A lot of people have come in here today and been like, "Oh, such and such is pumping," and then a lot of them are just immediately rejecting. Why? Because of the maintenance tomorrow, man. They're trying to trap you into losing positions, man. People are trying to get out of their positions at a good profit and trap you, a retail trader, into an unprofitable position. They're trying to make you a trap buyer. Don't become a trapped buyer. Oh, what the hell's going on with my upstream? Peter, listen, man, I've been doing this show for like for almost 2 hours, and I was broadcasting beautifully and perfectly and had no issues. And then you came in and made a comment, and now my upstream's shitting the bed. Huh. That's funny. I didn't notice. Has it been bad for a while? Interesting. That was weird. Maybe these two things are not uncorrelated. Okay, no, just now, yeah. So Peter, yeah. We were uploading perfectly, and then you came in and you're like, "Hey, I want to watch Justin." And my upstream takes a dump. Darn it, Peter, I want you to be in the community. It's been better than before, but still buffery at times. Well, Scott, hopefully that GTX 1060 helps fix things. I think we need to go to Amazon.com and buy that right now. All right, guys. So with that being said, because I want to end on a strong note, I think we've looked at the requests. Hopefully that helped you out. I'm going to go ahead and cut tails, man. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, so let's go over the stuff. Let's go over regular stuff for those of you who didn't catch the beginning of the show. Boom. I want to make sure that Chris Hearn, I want to make sure that you know that you did win the free t-shirt giveaway. Congratulations to you, man. Get a hold of me in the Discord and I'll make sure we get that sent out to you. Just pick a t-shirt and it's yours. Obviously we pay for it. So let's see here. We're going to be starting the MMO giveaway tomorrow. So make sure you guys go check out MMOPro.org or MMOCoin.pro to read up on more information. You can stake it. You can get the wallet in preparation for the giveaway. 5 people are going to win 5,000 MMO apiece. We're going to run that for 2 weeks, just like all our other giveaways. Binance is doing their system update. Starts at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time or 2 o'clock in the morning UTC time tomorrow. So make sure you adjust. Make sure you guys go patch your WINRAR, because there is an exploit available in old versions of WINRAR that could potentially allow a malicious actor to inject an executable onto your computer, meaning they could keylog you, meaning they could modify your clipboard. So make sure you just go to win-rar.com and download the latest version. You guys can go check out the latest blog. On crackingcryptocurrency.com if you want some information on how to get some free BitTorrent tokens. And that's about all I got, guys. Again, we're going to be starting that giveaway tomorrow. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, man. Confirmed troll. I have no idea how you haven't figured this guy out as a troll. Well, I won't get into the debate. I hope not. I like Peter. I want to like Peter. But my upstream does not like Peter. Look, it's dying right now because I'm talking about him. All right, so thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are fantastic and awesome as always. I do want to thank... Hey, no problem, Vitam. Thank you so much, man. I do want to thank, let's see here, ECville, Jose Fernandez, Tanvir, Talukdar, and user BLK. Thank you guys so much for the subs on YouTube. Highly appreciated. Welcome to the community. And I want to thank Pylai, Radioactive 328 for the Prime subs. Thank you guys on Twitch. Highly appreciated. And MewIE. Thanks so much for the follow on Twitch as well. You guys are awesome. Again, if you guys would like to trade along with me and trade along with the rest of the community, receive the signals and setups from the Kraken Cryptocurrency team of analysts and traders, as well as have access to my indicators and our webinar series, you guys can check out premium.crackencryptocurrency.com. All the information is available there. And I would like to pose a question to you guys. So when we're talking about indicators to use for entering and exiting positions, we want an indicator to confirm an entry. So what indicators are you using to confirm your entry position, right? To confirm that you should buy or that you should sell. So I'd be very curious to know what your indicators are. Leave your answer in the comment section down below. I will pick anybody that comments. I'm going to pick a random winner tomorrow's live stream, and I'm going to tip them some crypto in the Discord if you're a member of our Discord. And also carry the conversation into the Discord, because you're going to meet somebody out there. Say you're using an indicator and somebody else is using that indicator. Well, you post that in the Discord, let them know, and maybe they'll hit you up and tell, hey bro, have you tried doing this with the indicator? Again, it's about the community, guys. That's how we grow. So random commenter is going to receive a crypto tip. So make sure you guys leave your answer in the comment section down below. That's about all I got, guys. You guys have been fantastic, awesome, and excellent. My indicator is Justin. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's about all I got, guys. If you guys have any comments, questions, sarcastic remarks, opinions, or death threats, leave them in the comment section down below. Who's calling me? My screen won't. I don't know who that is. Leave them in the comment section down below, or again, direct all commentary at contact@crackingcryptocurrency.com. I've been Justin Wise, lead analyst, senior mentor at Kraken Cryptocurrency. Hopefully today has helped crack cryptocurrency for you. And until tomorrow, guys, trade safely and peace out.